These guys are wicked. Extremely wicked. How do you inject people with HIV? You see, and I was shouting. And I was being told, be careful now. That time I was a cop. So I was a cop and I was a minister at the same time. How stupid can the world be? Dr. Ruto, Dr. Ruto, PhD. Is he so dumb he can't see that? We should hold President Ruto and his family liable. That's why I don't fear them. Because niliwaambia, inaniuma because niliwaambia. Rachael Ruto, wewe ni mama. Unasikia aje ukikaa kwa hiyo ofisi yako? Na nilikwambia hivi vitu. Unasikia aje kwa roho yako? Unanyamaza huko. Unasikia aje? Watoto watu wengine watakula hizo nyama waumie. Unasikia aje kama binadamu?
Prophet Phronesis.
Yes, please.
Uko sawa sasa?
Kabisa.
Yes. Mungu anasaidia.
Kila siku.
Maybe we want to go to a place whereby you talked of being in a police service, national police service section.
Yeah.
Maybe how was it, and maybe how did you get into that particular position?
Okay, very good. Now, first of all, I rejected the national police. I never wanted anything to do with the police. If you've been brought up in Jericho, if you see a police officer, you just clench your fist. Because growing up, you have uniform, unapatana na askari anaanza kupiga. So we grew up with a very bad mindset towards police, you know, and I didn't want that. But I was a sporty person ever since I was young. Football, athletics, boxing. But now when I chose to be serious with athletics, the National Police Service came to me to employ. I didn't want. I was expecting some scholarships. And at that time I thought it's better than joining the police. And like Kipia Air Base came, Moi Air Base came, a Senior Sergeant Kitur, and I didn't want for the first 2-3 years after high school. But now things were so rough at home, and my mom told me, Kenya prisons also came. And my mom told me, why don't you really want to join these guys? And I said, do you know their history? I don't want to be associated with the police at all. And she told me, things are tough here, and why can't you just join and be the change you want to see there? Why can't you go there and make things work how you think they ought to work? And so I consulted with my coach, John Ansra. He was with Telcom. And I said, I have like Kipia Air Base, I have Moi Air Base, I have the Kenya Police, I think the AP, and Kenya Prisons. All of them want to employ me because of athletics. Which one do I go with? He told me, do you still have the dream of furthering your studies? I said yes. He said, join Kenya Prisons. It'll be easy for you. I know people there, they'll help you and give you time to go and study. So that's how I settled for Kenya Prisons. There's a link I have with the National Police when I was there, but I can't talk much about it here. But there's a link I had with the Kenya Police when I was there. Because of the Commissioner General Isaiah Osugo. He used to be a former CID boss. So there are some things he would use me and a few others to do and link us up with some other security apparatus of the government. Okay? So yes, I was employed 2006 as an athlete. And I settled for Kenya Prisons as a constable. And my queue had passed my KCSE. So they had several promotions after I left college, blah, 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 a lot of corruption. I refused to budge. I never paid anyone anything. And they tried to offer me some NCO positions of a corporal several times. I rejected them. And finally, I was promoted to inspector. Then shortly after, chief inspector. Then I was to be promoted to SP, but that's when I resigned. You see, to focus fully on ministry, that's number one. And number two, I didn't want to be a cheat. Because at that time, I was going to be the advisor to the First Lady Rachael Ruto. I remember the head coach of athletics, it's called Chirchir, told me, but why are you resigning? You can still earn this side. And I said, no, that will be cheating. I can't have two pay slips in the same government. And I'm there as a minister. What example am I? So I resigned to enter. So you can understand the kind of person you're dealing with. When I was leaving State House, I'd already resigned from being a cop.
Yeah.
Okay? But I follow God. I don't follow pay slip. You see. So pretty much that's how I rose through the ranks and everything. Nikifuata straight hivi. Na Mungu akinisaidia.
Kabisa.
Yes, 17 years.
17 years.
Yes.
Hey, ni mengi.
Ni mengi?
Yeah. And you talked of vaccinations some other time.
Yeah.
Maybe Wakenya wangetaka kujua ama people asking themselves, what kind of vaccinations were you talking about? Because you talked of the vaccinations zinaletwa Kenya, watoto wanadungwa, and recently I just saw that many children were being vaccinated. I think a week ago, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. Now if I'm to talk to you scientifically, without using pseudoscience, are there studies that have prove really that vaccines work on children? Scientifically speaking?
Not really.
No. If you really understand science, no. And every person who has done their research and they are not compromised, when they come up and say no, actually, like in Japan, years back, they did a study between the children being vaccinated against all these diseases and the ones who are not being vaccinated. The ones who are being vaccinated were prone to getting diseases more, and the immune systems were compromised. So the Japanese government actually halted the entire vaccination thing. Said, if you're putting some things into the bodies of our children, we really have to know that it's working, you see. But to narrow down to the question, COVID vaccines. Let's start there, because that's where I started making noise a lot, 2019, 2020. Even if you're a class 8 dropout, just basic science, you know, how can a vaccine be ready within 3 months?
It requires a lot of time.
Yeah. When was the research done? And on the animals that you did this research on, what were the findings? Now let's talk now scientifically. Not, the prophet. No, science. When was this research done? And before the vaccines were released to the public, I remember prophesying and saying, they will say vaccines are ready. Science is working. But all along, the vaccines were already ready. They produced the vaccine, they produced the virus together with the vaccines. And the vaccines were contaminated. These things, I was always posting them on Facebook. 2019, 2020. Mark Zuckerberg and his people are pulling them down. And Mark Zuckerberg just came out recently saying the Biden administration was forcing them to pull down anyone who was speaking against those COVID vaccines. And he knew personally that what they were pulling down was truth. You see. So how do you get vaccines ready within 6 months?
Somehow questionable.
It's not somehow. It's extremely questionable. I cannot buy that narrative. And this is why I fault African leaders. And this thing didn't only affect African leaders, because many people in political offices think they are very smart. But they are only smart politically, but not spiritually. So many people, millions, have died. Not because of the COVID virus that they created and we prophesied, but because of the vaccines. You see. So, why should you allow, as the head of state, your people to be vaccinated? And yet you know the due process for a vaccine to come out has not, the threshold has not been met. How do you accept that? If you're sober. because you fear what the West will say. But you're not representing the West. God has given you a purpose to protect your people. You see. Why isn't Trump for them? Why are they going against Dr. Fauci? And I mentioned that name a lot during those times. They're the ones spearheading this program. And this is not just science. If you study your Bible well, now this is where they merge. Something as big as this cannot happen without God revealing it in the Bible. Medicine being used against humanity is in the Bible. Did you know that? It's there. You know, my Bible is not far. I can just flip it open. God said it in the book of Revelation. The entire world, the nations, will be deceived by use of pharmakia. The word pharmakia then is sorcery. So you can't see it easily on the English translation. But the people practicing medicine that time were Satanists, were sorcerers. You see. So we have modern day sorcerers, Fauci, Bill Gates, and the rest. What is the agenda? Like the days of Noah. Transforming, changing, mutating the DNA. You see. Many people didn't die of COVID. The vaccine
killed them.
Which was not a vaccine. Some of those vaccines had HIV, whatever in them. Do you know that? These guys are wicked. Extremely wicked. How do you inject people with HIV? You see? And I was shouting. And I was being told, be careful now. That time I was a cop. So I was a cop and I was a minister at the same time. So I would go to work. This mask mandate, I would refuse. Nasema na huyu anakuanga kichwa ngumu kwa nini? Nasema nimesoma. Sikuenda shule nikuwe mjinga. Scientifically, when you put that mask, you are... I'm going too far. But you're putting your health at risk. You see, and I would explain these things, but there is a stupidity given to people, mostly from this side of the world. If someone with a different, a lighter skin pigmentation tells you something, you go for it. What qualifications does Bill Gates have, a software programmer, to come and advise nations, World Health Organization, and the UN concerning vaccines? How stupid can the world be? Dr. Ruto, Dr. Ruto, PhD. Is he so dumb he can't see that? This is what gets me angry. Doctor Biochem, it should be Biochem. Biochem, you should be able to know. Biochemistry, you should be able to know this is nonsense. You see. So there are those vaccines, COVID. Then vaccines that have been introduced to children. Why is Trump out of the World Health Organization? Why is Trump leaving UNESCO? And no matter how much you hate the man's maybe swag or whatever, one thing you cannot deny is this. He wants the best for his country. And he has figured out World Health Organization is not the best for his country. UNESCO, UN is not the best for his country. So what makes it good for Kenyans? Studies have been done in America. There's been an increase in autism linked to vaccines. You see. All these things, they're coming out now. But these things God showed me by revelation 5 years ago. But people could not listen to me. Let me tell you something, brother. If my skin pigmentation was lighter, people would listen to me. But intelligence does not come from your skin color. If we speak normally, it's through your cognitive progression. How well you can engage your faculties. But I have something superior than that. I'm a prophet. I have the Holy Ghost. He shows me the future. Now, everything I was screaming about 5 years ago is now coming out in the open. Even these things about vaccinating animals against fatting. I mean, how dumb can you be as a president or a leader or a political figure to back up such sentiments? You want to vaccinate animals so that they don't fart? Are you smarter than God? Don't you know farting is healthy? Why are you laughing? Don't you know farting is healthy? You.
I know.
There are children who cannot fart. They have to be given some things if you do a system to show you if you don't fart, there is an abnormality going on. What do you know? You are carrying poison.
Yeah.
Right? Then that poison will be sold in your butcheries. Okay. And I told them, this is what pisses me off, because I remember telling Mrs. Ruto, Bill Gates is should be a persona non grata in Kenya. I told her these things, right? And he will try these human vaccines. If they fail, he will go into animals. And he will want immunity. Like if the vaccines go wrong, they can't be held responsible for the consequences the vaccines are causing. I say these things, you see. So sometimes Kenyans can look at me and think, why is he so angry? Brothers and sisters, nyinyi ni Wakenya wenzangu. You see, sijali unaongea Kisapere, Kikamba, Kinini, Kikale. Wewe ni Mkenya na mimi ni mtumishi wa Mungu na Mungu amenisaidia nikasoma kidogo. So nikiona kitu itahangaisha Wakenya wengi na niliambia watu kwa authority na wasikii na jam. Na jam, siwezi jicontain na jam. Nasikia ningekuwa na mawe ningepiga. Because wao ni wajinga. If you are not told, it's different. Then everything happens as you are told. And he comes and now he wants vaccines for the cows. Claiming rubbish about climate. And then he wants immunity. If anything goes wrong, they can't be held accountable. What kind of a society do we live in? What is this a banana republic? How can an outsider come in, throw in trash, and says if people die, we can't be held accountable? So who's to be held liable? Who's to be held liable? So if Bill Gates cannot be held liable, we should hold President Ruto and his family liable. Yeah. That's why I don't fear them. Because niliwaambia, inaniuma because niliwaambia before it happened. Then it rolls out the same way and you are quiet. Rachael Ruto, wewe ni mama. Unasikia aje ukikaa kwa ofisi yako? Na nilikwambia hizi vitu. Unasikia aje kwa roho yako? Unanyamaza huko. Unasikia aje? Watu wengine watakula hizo nyama waumie. Unasikia aje kama binadamu? That's why I get angry. You see? That's why I get so angry. And then people want to politicize things and say, oh, this prophet is very political. God is extremely political. You see? If God was not, why did he show me these things way before? To announce so that we protect our people. We protect the nation. Now, in America, go do your own study. A lot of sicknesses in children have been attributed to vaccines. Wacha nikuulize, Yesu alipata vaccine? Hapana. All this vaccination rubbish came with this, they call themselves white. They're not white. This whatever color people. Some of them, not all of them are bad. Why? Because of big pharma. They want to sell medicine to who? To stupid Africans. You think they're helping, but with every vaccine, immunity inakuwa compromised. Do your own study. You know, I was not done even in uni. I used to go to the city mortuary and do my own studies on dead bodies. That's how passionate I am about human bodies. I've been given a ministry for healing. So mimi nikiona mtu mgonjwa inanisumbuanga sana. Na sipendi kuona watu ni wagonjwa. So if God gives me that and gives me a way of protecting an entire nation from being affected, then it's not followed. Why should I be happy? What is there to laugh about? You see? And it's good you've asked about the vaccines. I will add something else that I was screaming about in 2019, 2020. About 5G. 5G installations. Mark Zuckerberg, you owe me. 5G installations, they have adverse effects, negative, on the human health, human body. These things God showed me 2019, 2020. Said they want to use them also. Why? They are making people sick so that they can sell medicine. Now how sick is that? You see? the way God has created the body, the human body, the body by itself can heal itself. You see, all the natural stuff we have in Africa can help you without damaging you. You see, wale mababu zetu walikuwa wanakuwa vaccinated? Hapana. Hapana, na ndio walikuwa wanatumia dawa za kienyeji from the herbs. They knew there is this leaf, there is this thing, there is this thing, and they would use them. But now, and this is where the controversy comes in, somebody with a funny skin color comes to Africa and says, in anthropology or this science, we will not demean your culture, right? When it comes to arguing what I've said out, they say, it's only that it's not documented, but people were dying a lot in Africa, yet they don't have documentation. Why? To sell their agenda. Mungu amepatia kila mtu, every tribe, not only in Africa, all over the world. Mungu amepatia akili fulani ya kujua mti fulani inaponya kitu fulani. Because everything we require for healing comes from these herbs. You understand?
Yeah.
Now they use that to bring in their own agenda and to convince people and for heads of states to sign. Children at this age must be vaccinated. Now a child is vaccinated, I don't know, after 3 weeks. Again, after another 3 weeks. Again, after another 3 weeks. Hizi vitu zinaingia kwa mtoto. When will we have an independent laboratory? Not an idiot who went to school to become stupid. Just following the same procedures given to him by someone from the UN. When will we as a nation be sovereign enough in the medical field and say, fine, this vaccine has come, we want to test it using our own things and our own scientists, our own medics. We don't want the UN to interfere here. Then you see, you disclose what that vaccine contains going into the bodies of our children. It's the right of every parent to know what is going into the body of your child. And when you come of age, I think it's the Nuremberg Code. Nobody is allowed to force anything into your body. Vaccines were being forced to show you the agenda is wrong in the name of protecting the society. You see, so all these people in government, I mean, you are fooled once, okay, then they want to do it again and you can't see why. No, can't be that dumb. You're selling the country. You're selling the country. You see, so after Trump came out and rejected World Health Organization, now that's when some few doctors in Kenya are saying now, oh, those vaccinations were not good, were not. Also, now you finally realize they're not good. After Trump spoke out. I hate cowards. I don't know if you answered.
You answered.
I think we need another session, not today, just to deal on medicine and the body.
Yeah, true.
And pseudoscience.
Yeah.
Because what is being championed by Bill Gates, by Dr. Fauci, he's not even supposed to be called a doctor, by Demon Fauci. Because he's a demon. Bill Gates is just a demon. And his friends, that is not science. That is pseudo-science. True science agrees with God. True science complements what God does. True science saves lives. True science promotes health. True science does not destroy life. True medical science does not destroy life. True science places value on human life. Okay? So you can't tamper with a child's DNA. Rates za watoto kuwa na autism imeinuka sana. Do your research. Vaccines. You see?
Yeah.
So it's a whole lot of... It's a big topic and very sensitive to me, but
yeah.
I think for today,
ifike hapo.
Acha ifike hapo. Yeah.
And you talked of being a minister pale State House. Can we please talk about the state of the church that you are ministering in, because you were ministering outside, because the church that we saw trending online kidogo
ile Mabati?
Yeah, ile ya Mabati.
Ile ni ya Bishop Njagi.
Oh.
Now that church there in State House, I never went that side. Actually, when I used to go to State House, I used to be I would go to the First Lady's office, finish, go where my wife was supposed to be, and leave. All right? That church there was set up to serve the police population in State House. Okay? Sawa. And their families. Now, my work there, I was advisor and also a minister. Though that time we were in Panari. Our services were holding in Panari.
The one Panari Hotel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Along Mombasa Road. So Sundays I would be in our church, but Mondays would have devotions in State House. In another small chapel there. Not that one that you saw. Okay. And pretty much not a lot was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you really support, the current regime that we are having? It's a regime that people, they were into God so much, as you stated before.
Yeah.
Like these are the people who wametesa Wakenya sana. They see Wakenya wakiwawa pale and they just keep quiet. Wanakuja kwa mtandao, wanapiga kelele, wanakasirika, and Kenyans are not happy with how the president comes out to burst publicly. Maybe do you support this agenda to have a very huge church pale State House? Because people think that the same Ruto that we are seeing is not the one that we expect to build a church.
Let me speak from my heart. Na Wakenya watulie, msiokote mawe kwanza. Tulie kwanza. President Ruto is a very interesting character. Maybe he doesn't know this, but he has two sides to him. There's a very sweet side to Ruto. Very nice, extremely nice, very generous. And there's a very, very dark side to him. Extremely dark. So in his life as a Christian, it's like he didn't manage to extinguish the dark side. He kept on giving it life. Now it's exposed to everyone to see. You understand? Do I support a church being built in State House by him? The timing is wrong. You can be doing something good, the timing is wrong. Understand? It's a spiritual thing he's trying to do. Many people don't understand, but it won't save him. Because there is how it ought to be done. You can do something right and you do it wrongly. You understand?
True.
And you do it at the wrong time.
At the wrong time.
Mimba ni mzuri, si ndio? But mtoto akikuwa miaka 13 umpatie mimba, si unafungwa maisha wewe? Kufanya kitu. Lakini kama umeoa the right age, you are congratulated.
Yeah.
You're expecting, wow. You see. But 6 years before that, committee. Yeah. So he's trying. He's generous.
Yeah.
That is. Mgala muwe haki mpe. Unajua. And I'm that kind of a person. Hata kama nasikia nimekasirika na mtu kitu fulani, but ya ukweli yake mpatie.
So that is the good side of him.
He's very generous. Extremely is generous. Unajua. Hata kuna mtoto adopt.
Yeah. Na
analipia wengi, anasaidia wengi. You see. But now as it is, ile maovu ni kama imeshinda uzuri nguvu. Unaona? Yeah. Let me finish by saying this. what do I have to say about this regime that what Waliamini? And it's true, the church had hopes in this presidency.
Yeah, sana.
A lot of hopes. You see, people had hopes. People came out to vote for Ruto because they knew at last we are getting someone who fears God in office now. Things will work. You see. And unfortunately, if you study the book of Daniel, I taught about thrones on Sunday. It matters who is at the gates. Daniel would be at the gates of the palace. Very strategic. Mordecai would be at the gates. The people at the gates and the walls surrounding Ruto are his downfall. That is downfall. You see. And we can't blame them alone because he is the president. You see. You can't come to my house, my children mistreat you, then I say, I have to discipline them. And my children learn how to treat visitors based on how I have shown them. So what makes us think is not these people are not acting out what Ruto wants. You see? Kenyans are disappointed, and so am I. Yeah. We were praying for them for the longest time, and they've decided to take a different turn without God. So we are disappointed, just like you, just like other Kenyans. Yeah. But before other Kenyans could see it, we saw it and we left. You see, we saw it and we left. So I don't know if I've answered everything or I've left anything.
You've answered. It's fine.
Yeah.